So now to go over the feature games in the UK that people can watch on TV. Let's start off with the Chiefs at the Steelers. How do you see that going?
Well, I was very impressed with the Chiefs last week, especially obviously Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
He's literally roadrunner. I've never seen anyone run so fast in my life. So I mean, they didn't even, if you consider they had Sammy Watkins ready to go as well. Obviously they've got Travis Kelce, who didn't really do anything much. He didn't need him to as well. And then if you look at Kareem Hunt, Kareem Hunt didn't even, if you consider his start last year, it's like they didn't even need him.
No, good point.
So I mean, I was very, very impressed with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Obviously for his actual debut, to be so calm and composed, but that arm that he has was ridiculous as well.
Yes.
So yeah.
I mean, that was a bit like what we were taken by surprise with Watson when he first came on the scene, was that arm. But yeah, I mean, Tyreek Hill, first play. I think anyone that says they're not that nervous on that first kick of the game, and obviously the first catch, and 91-yard punt return. I mean, that's just insane. I mean, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns, not a bad first week for Mr. Hill. I mean, it'll be an interesting thing for this week to see if, obviously, again, we talk about sort of repetition. Obviously, they've got to come off. They're on a high. The Steelers will most definitely be on a low.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sorry to cut you. I think what they're going to face this week is a fully fledged, angry Pittsburgh Steelers team, because in the days that they've been mocked as a team that hasn't won in a season and a half, as actually against one of the best offenses pretty much in the NFL, hasn't produced. So therefore, those guys are going to be ready. Yeah. So Patrick Mahomes is going to face a different defense than he ever has before. So
my worry is obviously the Steelers. Like we said, we touched on the Browns' defense before. Is obviously it's not one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
And we watch Big Ben. We know he's a slow starter.
Yeah.
But there's a slow start.
He hasn't had his salt yet.
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe I'm not good enough.
Oh yeah. Is he going to retire again? Sort of thing. But it's not nothing against him, because I like Big Ben. I respect him. As I say, he's one of the most respected QBs in the league. Yeah. But as I say, there was a couple of strange decision making, like on his part. Really, it's not come from the side. It's him. He's running that offense really. So it'd just be interesting to see coming up against a better defense, how he gets on, and whether he can pick himself up. But we know he's got the people behind him. You got people like you got AB, you got Juju there. Obviously, we
didn't even use him last time.
No.
And I think as well, like, this is the thing. I think people don't realise that, one, they tied last week, so it wasn't like they won without Le'Veon Bell. And then two, I think that his skill set, you've literally always got a person to be able to dump the ball off to. Yeah. So you've got a tight end / wide receiver / running back. So that is missed. So I'll be interested to see if Connor could actually do the similar type of things. Yeah. But obviously you won't be able to replicate what Bell does.
Yeah, and obviously it's the flip side as well. The Steelers defense, is, again, I can't say anything wrong with the Chargers defense really in comparison. We're not talking about a defense that is under scrutiny every year. They're pretty steady. And Rivers, again, still an elite QB that is obviously respected. He still put numbers on the board. So it'll just be interesting to see. I think that this could be a bit of a shootout this week. In terms of where I see it going, I do think, obviously, being at the Steelers, having home advantage there, I think the Steelers might pip it, but it'll obviously be closer than anyone might think.
I will go for the Steelers as well, because I think that I haven't seen enough of Mahomes, obviously consistently, because he's only had one game in the NFL, to be able to trust him under what he's going to be getting, the pressure that he's going to be getting this coming Sunday.
Of course. Next game for us, the Patriots taking on the Jags.
Grudge match.
Do you know what, you say that though, but I was a little bit disappointed by the Jags defense last week. Yeah. It didn't look like the same Jags defense. I don't know if, again, we read too much into it game week 1, and obviously repetition, obviously the train obviously going down the hill let them obviously pick up a bit of pace, but they just didn't seem that themselves, it wasn't like that angry defense where it was just rushing people like every down, like for them to panic. The Giants aren't the strongest team in the league at the moment. Sorry,
I knew we were going to get into this.
Sorry, I'll try. No, I thought that was quite a nice dig. It was subtle. It was clean. But it was still worrying times. Actually, the Giants could still get back into this game. I wasn't expecting that at all.
Well, it was only one possession away. So.
Yeah. And it was, actually through a bit of accuracy and a couple of drop catches, actually the Giants probably could have got into it. Yeah, and it was even from sort of the targets to OBJ. I felt like Manning was probably trying to overhit it, so he could obviously get past.
He was trying to force to him too much, and I think that. I mean, I was surprised how much looks Odell got, because obviously that is a very stout defense, but I don't think Jalen Ramsey was actually following him around. I think that it was literally in sections that they was actually defending.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that I was quite. It's first games.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone's rusty. Everyone's been playing against each other for a little while. So now you're playing against actually real life people. It's a longer time, so I think that a lot of the cobwebs are coming off. So I would say with the Jags, it will be their offense is the problem, not the defense.
I think, to be fair, Bortles actually didn't look that bad. Actually, it was a couple where I think it was unlucky. I think it was tipped. I can't remember the receiver, but got tipped. Thought he had it. You could see the sort of celebration of I finally actually thrown a touchdown rather than just handing it to Fournette. So he's obviously getting better. He's getting better.
Fournette, I think I'm not sure. I mean, I could be wrong. Hopefully, I am. That he will be in for the next game, but obviously
that hamstring looked a bit dodgy.
Yeah,
there, didn't it, right?
I don't know if they're risking with that, but Yeldon did amazing work.
Yeah.
But if you look at who they have. I'm not really. I wouldn't really be worrying about them at all if I was the Patriots, and the Patriots have pretty much carried on from where they left off.
Why is there ever a doubt about Gronk and Brady? Every year, maybe it's their time to. Gronk looked like he'd just come into the league. Like it's insane. Like anyone that watches him, it just never gets.
It's familiarity. So if you've been playing with someone for the last 3-4 years, you know exactly what they're gonna do. You know their body movements. Naturally, you without even thinking, you know where to throw it. I think that with Gronk, he's pretty much some people say the best tight end ever.
Yeah.
He's more than just he's a wide receiver almost as well. So he takes away 3 players away from the offense to be able to cover him. I just can't see anything but a Patriots win really.
I mean, if you look, look back at Gronk as well. Like you say, it is like having a receiver. I've never seen a team like the Patriots where they don't have to rely on any part of the run game. Like the run game, they could probably actually get away with not running the ball almost the whole game. I feel.
I mean, Burkhead didn't even really get involved too much, and James White is always like almost like a double threat.
Yeah.
Because he's another kind of hybrid receiver.
Yeah.
Plus running back as well. So therefore he's always a threat, and he got a touchdown last week as well.
Mm-hmm.
So for I think personally, what they've got too much weaponry, and look, there's a couple of people unexpected. Some new guys that they've got as well. Confident to mind. And they've always got someone in stock, someone who's new to be able to throw into the system.
It's the system. It is the system. I mean, you mentioned obviously Rex Burkhead there, 64 yards. He was the highest rushing, of the running backs.
And he did that quietly.
It was 18 carries throughout a game. Now, it's low mileage for me.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying, coming back to a run game, and you talk about sort of receiving yards. Gronk again, 123 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Putting up touchdowns. However, you look Dorsett, James White. The other guys obviously put touchdowns on there. Targets really between them. Actually, James White 9 targets. Yeah. So one more than Gronk.
Yeah.
But the yardage obviously Gronk. But for a tight end to be doing that, is pretty impressive.
And if you look at, they've got 3 games before Edelman comes back.
Yeah.
And then so he's got his number 1 target. then that'll free up Hogan as well. So the Patriots will do what they normally do. Whether that's enough, I have no idea. And everyone's waiting for this cliff that Brady's going to fall off of. I am still waiting to see that. He's not as obviously mobile and easy on the eye as well. Yeah,
has he ever been mobile? Everyone's like, when he starts running, everyone's a bit like,
oh God!
Yeah. You can see just the mindset of
injured gazelle.
Yeah, how to run technique, get your knees
up.
But
he doesn't have to, because he has. I mean, they were the people who actually came up with the whole idea of smaller receivers, but better slot receivers. Obviously, this went back to Wes Welker.
Yeah.
So it's impossible for you to write. I mean, their conference is so easy. However, with this one. Obviously, the Jags would want actual revenge because obviously they lost in the final for them. So, but I just don't think that they have enough in the weapons to be able to bother the Patriots.
Yeah, no, I agree.
As difficult as it is for me to say, because not their biggest fan, but
the Jags can cause upsets, and they have done, have done with the Patriots in the past. So, I don't really want to sit on the fence. But for me, I will go with the Patriots on this.
Yeah.
But that it wouldn't be a shock if the Jaguars did cause something. Like you say, they've got to come out and obviously prove a point.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Calais Campbell, sorry, my bad. Who will be itching to be able to get through. I mean, the Patriots really haven't been tested. The Jaguars were tested a little bit more, so therefore, with Odell, Sterling Shepard, Evan Ingram, pretty much that's like, you're not going to, that's one of the best, receivers that you're going to actually be able to come across.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that the Jaguars are defensive wise completely Russ would be off.
Yeah.
But with the Patriots, it was light work.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But the Jags have not got enough going forward.
But we're both agreement. We're going to say the Patriots for this one.
Yeah, we're 2 for 2.
Yeah. Okay. That's a bit rarity that we agree on something.
Normally it's the complete opposites.
Yeah. This one, I think there might be a little bit of a change here in who you think is going to win. But the Giants at the Cowboys. Putting all loyalties aside, how do you see this going?
All in, Giants. All in. Now, the reason why I say this...
yeah.
I didn't see anything to be worried about from the Cowboys last week. I thought they were appalling. I think that they got rid of Des Bryant too early.
Yeah.
I think they should have kept him. Had a natural transition. You've gotten rid of Jason Witten, so therefore there's no one in the middle. I don't really see, and the Giants' defense isn't that bad. Forget about last season. I think that the next game, because again it's rosters off against a good elite defense.
Yeah,
you're gonna have Ingram, Shepard, and Odell ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, where you said about obviously Dallas, that's got to be upstairs there. You've had all that time to replace Bryant.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dez's got to be looking at this game. More for you really for not obviously getting this resolved. But okay, they know he's not there. Let's have a look at what we've got. We got Beasley, and we got, I'd probably say, Zeke. And Zeke, with all his troubles, 15 carries, 69 yards. That's not the Zeke we're expecting.
Well, I mean, for me, I think he came in, didn't look the same, didn't look as fit as he normally does. I think that if you're, Dak Prescott hasn't really got an arm, as far as he hasn't got a deep ball threat.
Yeah.
I'm not actually seeing anything, and we haven't even got into Saquon Barkley yet, because there's no way that they're going to be able to stop that run as well.
Yeah.
And so I think that it's going to be pretty much light work at Jerry's World.
Yeah. No, I mean,
but
it's one of them. Let's see, because obviously both low scoring really from game week 1. I think when I see that going into the next game week, I see it as either we're going to come up with a really drab game, where it's just a load of field goals, for instance, and it's just like very low scoring, or we're just going to look at it and say, oh, this is where the defense frailties come in, and we say, right, it's high numbers, and it could obviously when it comes down to that, it can swing either way.
This is the most confident I've been as a Giants fan against the Cowboys. I would say there's going to be a minimum of 20 points scored against them. I really don't know how much of a reply they're going to be able to have. I didn't really see, again, I didn't see anything to worry about. I know, obviously, the Panthers' defense is a good defense, not great. But they just didn't really seem like they had anything, and still don't have any weapons.
I mean, if the Giants are going to win any games this year, not any games, then obviously this will be this one.
We need to win this one.
Yeah, you need to win this one. If you don't, then maybe don't come on the show next week.
There'll be problems.
Yeah.
There'll be problems next week because, at the end of the day, is that this division is hard enough without making things harder for yourself. So, I think that I would say 20 to 3.
Okay, I'll take that. So, I mean, that's Sunday's games wrapped up. Let's say Monday Night Football.
Ooh.
Always enjoy these. And for fantasy purposes, though, always a bit of a problem.
Yeah, it's quite.
Do you stay up and watch them?
Yeah. Well, as long as I can.
Okay, so you're going to be able to watch this. Obviously, we watched the Bears. I won't say chuck away because we talked about Aaron Rodgers and the greatness, but the Seahawks coming into town now. So Seahawks obviously. I was
quite impressed with Trubisky.
Yeah,
if I'm pronouncing it correct.
Yeah,
I was. He seemed quite composed.
Yeah.
Obviously towards the end, but obviously he's still learning.
Yeah.
But I was quite impressed with what I saw from the Bears, especially defensively.
Yeah, I mean the Bears defensively were good. I mean you got to obviously look at what they've added to the defense.
Yeah.
There. Yeah.
A whole lot of defense.
Yeah.
He just took that ball away like it was a big bully.
Yeah, I mean, Mac is definitely going to be a bully for anyone. This week in particular, though, I'm interested because I think everyone has had a few eyes, obviously, on the Seahawks. Seeing how they're obviously going to kick on. Because, again, it's another team for me where nothing really exciting happened in terms of additions to the Seahawks. And I was actually surprised by that. We watched a load of people leave.
Yeah.
Which, again, I'm not sure was obviously through upstairs and negotiations, whether it was done correctly. I'm unsure. Wilson does turn up though. They lost. I guess they didn't get it over the line, but you can never write off someone like Russell Wilson. But this game in particular, I think, will obviously be interesting against that defense. I mean, but your views on where you see it going?
I believe that the Seahawks have got a injury with Doug Baldwin out, so that's his number one receiving target.
Yeah.
So I think personally, Russell Wilson has got far too much to do to be able to win this particular one. I think we'd have to see. But I mean, if I was to say, from what I saw of the Bears the last week, I think the Bears can actually beat them.
Yeah.
And obviously they are at home, so I'll be very, very surprised from what I saw of the first game. But obviously we're just judging the first games, Bears fans and Seahawks fans, before you go crazy. I think for me, I just think there's not enough from what I'm seeing on their depth chart. I'm just looking now.
Yeah. The weapons aren't there.
Yeah, the weapons not there. You're relying on Tyler Lockett to have to be able to step up. I'm not really seeing what else they have really.
I don't think. Yeah, I mean the weapons aren't there on their side. Jordan Howard, I think, doesn't always get the praise. There's obviously a little bit. They were talking about obviously his receiving abilities. I would say he stepped up a little bit. On that side of things. 5 receptions, 5 targets, brought them all in 25 yards. Okay, it's not huge, but he was utilised, and obviously came away with the ball. On the rushing side, 82 yards. So for the week, going over that 100-yard total is pretty good from him. So I'd obviously like to put a few props his way because I know he does get a bit of stick. Again, no fantasy purposes at all in that. But no, he certainly obviously put the numbers up. So yeah, it will be an interesting game. I just wonder, that rush defense of the Bears now, will cause, like you say, Wilson a few problems. So yeah, that's that's going to be the fourth game with a spin there. We're going to agree, right? I'm a bit scared.
I mean, just looking at it again. I mean, you have got Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall has something to be able to prove. So he's a veteran. He'll be able to carry them. He could between him and Tyler Lockett. I'm just looking, and I'm not seeing much really depth there. Yet again, they've done this whole thing with the running back of this committee running back of like almost looks like walk-ons. I won't. Please don't say that to them when we meet them later on in the year. I think they're all great. Yeah. And far bigger than me. But yeah, I'll just to be honest with you, against the Bears with that defense I've seen, I'm not really seeing and just how many times people will be able to get to Russell Wilson and the amount of tap dancing he has to do. There'll be music playing all night long because he's going to be dancing away from that defense from Mr. Mack.
No. I agree with you on that one. Yeah. So I know.
It's not a good omen.
That's what I mean. 4 out of 4, which means they're all going to go wrong. Do not follow us. But yeah, that's it for obviously the feature games this week. If you take a look at the graphic here, here's our what our thoughts will be and predictions for the remaining games for all the rest of you fans. Thanks for joining us on another edition of the Sportsheads. Hopefully you can follow our predictions for game week 2. Feel free to drop us on something on Twitter, Instagram, or even comments on YouTube for your own predictions. Also, thank you to Audio Technica and our other partners at My Touchdown Box for all your greatest gifts for your team. Make sure you can get yourself football, nice little t-shirt, nice little game mug if you can get one for the Sundays as well. But once again, thanks for joining us and tune in next week for another episode of Sportsheads.